that's beautiful.
Yes.
Welcome to Producer's Profile. My name is Orville Nelson.
And I'm Stella Winston. And we were listening to a band called Joshua, and we have one of the players in the band,
Curtis L.
Hayward, who is the saxophone player, and he is our guest producer today here on Producer Profile. Welcome to the show, Curtis L. Hayward.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now, that piece, it was so beautiful. What was the name of that piece you played?
It's called Dance and Rejoice. It's a pseudo-Latin jazz piece. We're not Latin musicians, but we're, as you can see, we're a multiracial band, from Hispanic to Caucasian to African American, so we like to mix it up.
Well, you beat me to the question. I was going to ask you, what type of music would you say that is? Thank you.
A lot of influences
Yeah,
there.
it would be considered Latin jazz. It would be an insult to just call it Latin, because that's not what it is.
Now, if someone is interested in buying that particular piece, are they able to? Are they able to buy the CD that is on?
Yes, we do have a CD out. It's actually available in J&R Music. I don't know if you're familiar with J&R. It's familiar with J&R. It's at our website as well.
What is your website?
It's mp3.com, Joshua/1. The number 1, not O-N-E, just the number 1.
Joshua/1.
Right.
Okay. And the name of that CD is?
It's called Joshua.
Joshua.
The same name as the group.
How long has the group been together?
Group's been together since '91, so say 10 years we've been together.
Now the music it felt so mature, so ripe. Tell me, where did you get your start in music?
I started at the ripe young age, or should I say not even ripe, because I might have even been forced ripe, but at 5 years old is when it was my earliest recollection. My dad told me an earlier story of when I was about 4, going into 5, that he bought a trumpet, which is actually my first instrument, and he said I kicked and screamed and I would not go to sleep unless I had my trumpet. So I think that probably was the first signs where, and he picked up from there.
So your father introduced you to the instrument?
Yes, he did.
Music.
Did you you like the way it looked, or you had played it, or you heard? What attracted you to the trumpet?
Yeah.
At such a young age.
The shiny brass always helps.
And it was yours.
And and my father was a music appreciator. He loved it, and from what I understand, as I sat and talked with my grandfather, rest in peace, I do come from a line of musicians, so I tried to get a little bit of my history. So I think it was probably in my blood. And I really started to like it and listen to it, and they saw me dancing around the house.
What kind of music was played in your household?
My parents are from the West Indies, from Barbados, and they did actually acculturate quite well into the American culture. So we had a mixture of Caribbean, jazz, and American music, as well as gospel. You know, I came up in the church.
Now, in terms of your public education, you went to public school?
Yes, I went to public school.
Now, you said at 4 or 5, about there, 6, you were introduced to music.
Yes.
Were you introduced to it through the public school system, I'm wondering?
Yes and no, because there is a place called the New Muse, which was Brooklyn's Jazzmobile, if you really want to peg it that. It was definitely Brooklyn's Jazzmobile, and that's really what got my roots deeply, firmly, solid into music. I studied with several pretty well-known people, not superstars, but they were pretty well-known in their field, and that, along with public school was more of an outlet, but the New Muse was really.
So you said public school was more of an outlet. Were you playing an instrument in school before you got to high school? Because you went to high school at what high school did you go?
Performing arts.
Mm-hmm. Were you playing an instrument in school before the High School of Performing Arts?
Yes, definitely. I was lucky enough before they cut out the music programs in public school. Period. You know, I was able to play an instrument in elementary school, so it was there right from the beginning. You know.
So at what point did the saxophone become your instrument?
It was still very early on. I would say by the 2nd or 3rd grade, because I went from trumpet to drums, and then I ended up on saxophone, and that's really where it settled in. So it was there right from the beginning.
Okay. Now, there are different types of saxophones.
Yes.
Can you please explain what they are?
Well, I trust you might have heard the different levels of voices. We have soprano, we have alto, we have tenor, we have baritone, and we have bass. The saxophones are set up in the same exact way, and strangely enough, the saxophone, it's very appealing to people, and actually it's not strangely enough, because research shows that the saxophone is the closest instrument to the human voice, so it is very appealing to the human voice, to the human ear, because it is the closest instrument to the human voice.
Now, Stella is asking you a few different types of saxophones, and I'm also curious, are you going to be playing something for us today?
Yes, I will.
But before we hear him play, and I do have more questions on the saxophone, we're going to take a musical interlude.
Okay.
I'm not sure what it's going to be, but we'll be right back.
It just better be good.
Yes, that's right. Okay.
Okay. Now, in terms of the music is coming up, but we have a little time. What type of saxophone do you have there?
Okay, this is a soprano sax.
Could you pick it up?
Unfortunately, I didn't bring my alto tonight, but this is a soprano sax, and this would equate to a soprano in a choir.
Okay.
As far as pitch, as far as tonality, it would come pretty close.
Now, in terms of soprano and
okay,
are we ready?
I think we're ready.
Okay, we're ready to hear a little music.
And then we'll be right back.
Okay.
And maybe you'll play something for us.
Okay.
Sure, absolutely.
All right.
Has a life, has a spirit, has a name. You think the only people who are people are the people who look and think like you. But if you walk the footsteps of a stranger, you'll learn things you never knew, Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon, or asked the grinning bobcat why he grinned? Can you sing with all the voices of the mountain? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Come run the hidden pine trails of the forest. Come taste the sun-sweet berries of the earth. Come roll in all the riches all around us. And for once, never wonder what they were. The rainstorm and the river are brothers. The heron and the otter are our friends. And we are all connected to each other in a circle, in a hoop that never ends. Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon, or let the eagle tell you where he's been? Can you sing with all the voices of the mountain? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? and you paint with all the colors of the wind. How high does the sycamore grow? If you cut it down, then you'll never know that you'll never hear the wolf cry to the blue corn moon. For whether we are white or copper skinned, we need to sing with all the voices of the mountain. We need to paint with all the colors of the wind. You can own the earth and still all you'll own is earth and tin. You can paint with all the colors of the wind.
Wow, that was beautiful.
Yes. That
Vanessa
was Williams once again, and we're about to hear Curtis L. Hayward
in studio,
in studio,
playing his saxophone.
a saxophone.
And what kind of sax did you say that
This
was?
is a soprano.
Soprano saxophone.
And when he's done, we're going to talk about the different types of saxophones.
All right.
Okay. And what's the name of this piece, Curtis?
It's called Spend My Life With You by Eric Benet.
Spend My Life With You by Eric Benet. And then the second piece will be
Second piece will be A Whole New World
Whole New World,
by Regina Bell.
Regina Bell.
Please, let's hear you.
Thank you, Curtis.